Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at TechTrader.com. Tuesday, the 11th of October. Kind of an ugly day on Wall Street, folks. You can see the stocks opened lower, dropped all morning. By midday, tried to stabilize. Even rallied a little bit on the S&P, got up to like resistance zone. Rolled them over in the afternoon in a mini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave decline. Got to an oversold condition, had a late bounce, but really there's not much to that bounce. We got up to the moving averages and failed. At least pulled back a little bit. Tonight, early futures are lower. I would not expect a surprise rally tomorrow. I'm looking for a little bit lower. We'll see. But today's low got down in that zone of support that if we don't hold it here, we could very well roll over much more quickly. The resistance is 48.40. That comes in around here. Should we get a rally back up to that tomorrow at some point? That will be resistance on the end, NASDAQ 100. S&P clear resistance right around 21.45 now. Even if we do get up above this area. You can see these lows that were broken and the snap back to it. That's going to be a difficult area to get back through. Let's take a look at the hourly charts. This is the NASDAQ 100. We had a pretty good break today. The trend line of the last 3 weeks or so broke hard. The best I could hope for at this point would be at least a test of a snapback to 48.40, like I said. That's going to be key. If it rallies back in kind of a bear flag or wedge, look out below. If it rallies back and takes out this level, it's going to have to get above 48, 60, 65, even 70 to convince me that this pullback's over. That may not happen. It probably won't. The S&P 500, a little bit different story. You can see the declining top center was never breached. Today, the wedge was breached to the downside, and secondary support in this zone was tested. We did get a bounce, but there's resistance right there at 21.40. If we do get an extension at any time tomorrow, 21.45, 47 is going to be a tough area to get through. If we back and fill in that area, form some sort of wedge or consolidation, we're headed lower, probably to 21.20. Ultimately, we could see 2100 or even less. I'll leave you with that for now. Let's take a look at the stocks that I want to talk about tonight. BSPM, big day today. 17.5 million shares, the biggest volume in its history. The stock exploded from 360 to 706, and at the end of the day, backed off. As you can see, here's a 2-minute chart. Had a big run up in the morning, consolidated, exploded. By midday, when it was reached 7, I indicated to you I thought you should exit. The stock then rolled over, broke support right there, and then this. After hours, it's a little bit higher by 22 cents. But just take a look at the daily chart one more time, and you can see that if we do get a follow through and there's resistance in that zone, we can see the stock explode all the way up into that 11 or 12 range. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I could see that as a possibility. First, we need to get through probably 9.5, 9.75. If we get some kind of crazy run up tomorrow and a follow through, that could happen. With a lousy market, may not happen. But anyway, I wanted to give you the possibilities. Carbonite, nice pop. Got up to resistance right at today's high at 16.25 and backed off. Still was up a nice 94 cents or 6.4%. The volume was the second best volume all year. Also to consider is that the multi-year highs from 2013 was 16.50 and today's high was 16.27. So we're at a resistance level, and we're long. Oh boy, and we're long in the tooth as well. One second while I redo this. Okay. Sorry about that, hit the wrong button there. Okay, so getting back to where we were, BSPM. Look, if the stock extends tomorrow, that'd be great. Up next, I want to show you MGT. They had some big news after late in the day today. Stock exploded. It is pulled back. I'm not high on this company. I know that a lot of people are, but I want us to show you the technicals. The stock broke down from a coil, bounced right to it, resistance, then roll over. The last couple of days were nice updates. Today, 8.6 million doesn't look like a lot on the chart, but it's one of the bigger days of the year. Going back to, well, let's just say May, when it had that explosive run up. It's going to have to get through the zone between where we are and 3 to really get going again. Just wanted to give you a look. NVFY, what a chart this has had. It's run from 38 cents to 5, spiked up to 5.15, pulled back, and then today right up again. before backing off. OBV's made a new high today. This stock should be watched carefully and should be stopped underneath 330, but any move above the 515.20 range, we could see 6 or 7. Just want to show you the momentum and give you my take on it. It may not be able to extend based on this angle of ascent, which is very steep. But if it does, take a look at where it might hit, somewhere up around 6 or 7. Momenta Pharmaceuticals with a big pop out of a coil today. 1.5 million shares up, 12.5% or $1.47. There's 6.4 days to cover short. We may see an extension and a rally up near the 14 range. That's my near-term target. And should it get through there, I'm looking at a stock that conceivably could be 19. There's about 6.4, as I said, days to cover. Let's see if there's any follow-through on this one. Well, with the market coming down hard, the UVXY popped today, jumping $1.63 or 10.7%, traded 51.6 million. And that's the second biggest volume in the last 2 months. So we're going to have to watch to see whether, number one, the declining top line, the 50-day moving average, and lateral resistance, all which juxtaposition around the 18-19 zone, can be taken out. But for starters, let's take a run up to that level. That would be an awfully nice move, wouldn't it? So we're going to look for a possible move up towards 19 if we do get a follow through to the downside of the market. And keeping that in mind, gold is starting to get whacked. JDST, this is a beautiful base pattern. Ran up to resistance and backed up. It's coming on again as it broke out of a little mini wedge today. It jumped 329, almost 10%. It did it on 5 million, which isn't huge, but good volume. The key to watch on JDST is can it get above 38 and a quarter, because then you're headed towards 50. And it does look similar, breaking out of a base here and pulling back to retest that level before bouncing again. It was an inside day yesterday. Today it popped 344, 7% on 9.5 million. If we get through this zone, I can see the stock testing quickly 56.5. That's a 5 or 6 point move from here. Carbonite popped and is looking very good, but it is up against overhead resistance. I think we discovered it. We touched base on that already. I'm out of sequence here. My apologies, folks. GLOG. You can see that the pattern which we put a swing on, I think it was back in here in June, never really worked well, or it may have been in August, but the bottom line is it kept going up, but in a very shallow angle. Now it's accelerating, and it blew through to 16 today. It was up 41 cents or 2.6% on a million shares. That's the biggest volume on an up day since May, so it looks like this could accelerate. Mid-channel target's about 18.5, 19. Secondary target 22. There's 7.3 days to cover. This could get interesting. MLBL yesterday had a big explosive move. Today we had a nice follow through. Not much, but 3.6%, which tells me it may want to try the $4 range. It may be more, but there is also a declining tops line, a major one right here to deal with. We get through that, we can challenge the gap from back in May at around 395.4. We get through that and fill it, and then the stock is going to see higher levels. There's 5 days to cover. STML doing very well. The last 3 days after breaking out of a wedge has been straight up. My target's in the 16 and 18 zones. And lastly is UVXY, which I showed you earlier. It appears that this is now broken out of a wedge within a wedge. Watch this. There's a falling wedge, then a larger falling wedge. But today's pop on 51 million tells me that we got some more to go. I think I just mentioned that a while ago. Again, out of sequence, my apologies. Let's go over some boxer shorts. Some of the better looking ones. ADS, rolling over and out of this little wedge that I was in. Watch this. For me, that's resistance, and this is your wedge. And you can see that we have broken that pattern to the downside. The rising bottoms line is something like that now. This whole pattern appears to be a large consolidation after a break of the major top formation. But if this is just leg 1 and 2, then leg 3 could take you way down towards 140.50. Right now the stock's at 208, so watch this one. It could collapse quickly to 185 and then much less. AMCX, well, the media company broke a bear flag yesterday, followed through to the downside with another $1.55 or 3% loss. I think this is headed to the mid-40s, maybe worse. 5 days to cover. BJ Restaurants dropping a small fraction today, but it's right on the trend line, and if it cracks here, we're going to get a test of the double bottom from back around the 33 range, and then you're looking at 28. DXCM looks very vulnerable to me. It broke down, it stalled, and inside day yesterday, and engulfing day today feels much lower. It feels like we're going to see 79, followed by 72. I may put a short on this tomorrow. GII short, acting well. It's unable to even bounce. Feels like this could roll over at B22, 23 pretty quickly. IPXL broke the rising wedge a couple days ago. It stalled and now it's coming down again. Look for a retest of 21 followed by 18.5. JCOM may be breaking this after the 1, 2, 3 big drop here. It had a 1, 2, 3 wave corrective. Now it begins to roll over. Looking for a test of the mid 50s and then mid 40s. Ligand Pharmaceuticals looks like a top. Rising wedge broke hard. This little bear flag in here, whatever you want to call this, feels like it is about to fall apart and test 86 and then 74.5. LMT Lockheed looks like the sellers are in there. Rally back, failed at the moving averages. It's been rolling over. It's down 6 days in a row. I wouldn't be surprised to see this drop into the low 200s. Lululemon, oh my God, every day it's down. It's only been up 2 days in the last 3 weeks. Really bad drop. Look for a test of 54, followed by what could be a rundown into the high 40s. Pretty ugly. I'd love to see a rally back, some kind of consolidation bear wedge or flag. LXFT's been coiling or wedging, I should say, for the last couple of months. Look, this thing could roll over and die. Ultimately, I'm looking for stock in the mid 30s. First stops, low 40s. MIK, which I put out as a short swing, I think is about to break. We shall see. I'm looking for something around 20. MTSC's been rolling over today. It really got whacked. And looks to me like a test of this low is imminent and maybe taken out. Something in the 37.8 range should happen very quickly. In CLH, bear flag. Test of resistance. Waiting for this to roll over. Looking for 29.30. Red Robin Gourmet was actually up 19 cents today. I'm not impressed. I think it goes lower. Still looking for like 38. Gentherm. Not a pretty chart. Rising wedge, bear wedge. Feels lower to me. Looking for 23 and then 19. And lastly is WebMed forming another bear flag. See it? And if this cracks, we should see 45, 42 or worse. And that's a complete rundown of the longs and shorts that I have in mind for the next day or two. This is HB saying, let's make some money tomorrow, boys.